Most men misinterpret a woman's quiet moments, viewing silence as an empty space that needs to be filled, a problem that requires an immediate solution. They reach for questions like, "What's wrong?" or fill the air with nervous chatter, believing that action is always better than inaction. But this approach stems from a fundamental misunderstanding. For a woman, silence is rarely empty. It is often a space filled with introspection, processing, or simply the need to exist without the pressure of performance. It is in these unguarded moments that she is most aware of the energy you bring into the space. When she grows quiet, withdraws, or seems distant, it is not necessarily an invitation for you to act, but a subconscious test of your emotional stability. She is watching not with a critical eye, but with a deep, intuitive sense, to see how you respond to her absence of words. Does your energy become anxious, causing you to overtalk or seek reassurance? Do you perceive her retreat as a personal rejection and pressure her to explain or snap out of it? Or do you possess the rare ability to simply be, to remain calm and steady, offering the gift of your presence without any demands? A woman falls for the man who doesn't panic when she pulls back precisely because his reaction communicates volumes about his inner world. Your stillness in the face of her silence is a powerful, non-verbal language. It tells her more convincingly than any compliment ever could, "I am secure enough in myself to not need your constant attention. I am not here to control your emotions or steer you towards a more convenient state of mind. I am simply here to hold space for you, exactly as you are in this moment." This is not passive indifference. It is active acceptance. It is the emotional equivalent of being a deep, calm harbor, while she is a ship navigating her own internal waves. She doesn't need you to calm the storm for her. She needs to know that the harbor is safe and stable, that she can drop anchor next to you without fear. This ability to provide a non-judgmental container for her entire emotional spectrum, including its quietest shades, builds a foundation of trust that is both profound and unshakable. It is a trust built without promises or declarations, crafted in the quiet moments between words. When she experiences this consistently, she learns that with you, she does not have to constantly explain herself or justify her moods. She can be in a state of flux, or even in a state of nothingness, and still feel completely accepted. This feeling of being able to simply be without the pressure to perform or entertain is incredibly rare and therefore incredibly attractive. It disarms her defenses and allows her to connect with you on a level that transcends the transactional nature of gifts or planned dates. The silence, then, ceases to be a barrier and becomes the very medium through which the deepest connection is transmitted. A connection built not on what is said, but on what is felt in the quiet. The landscape of human emotion is not a tidy, logical place, and for many men, entering it feels like stepping into a storm without a map. The instinct is to find the quickest way out, to fix the leak, to calm the winds, to solve the problem. When a woman expresses strong emotion, be it sadness, frustration, anxiety, or even a joy that seems irrational, the common male response is to engage the problem-solving part of the brain. They offer solutions, defend their own position, or, if the intensity becomes too overwhelming, they seek escape, retreating into silence or physical distance. This approach, while often well-intentioned, fundamentally misses the point. A woman in an emotional state is not presenting a puzzle to be solved. She is inviting you into her inner world. She is asking not for a technician, but for a witness. The man a woman truly attaches to is the one who can stand firmly within this emotional storm without being swept away. His power lies not in controlling the weather, but in his ability to remain a stable, grounded presence within it. This is not about being stoic or emotionless. It is about being centered. When she is emotional, he doesn't interrupt to offer a quick fix or redirect the conversation to more comfortable terrain. Instead, he truly listens with his full presence. He breathes, maintaining his own calm, and in doing so, he holds a space of steadiness around which her chaos can safely swirl. This emotional resilience is perhaps one of the most potent attractors a man can possess. It communicates a profound message. Your emotions are not too much for me. I am not afraid of your depth. You can be fully yourself here, and I will not break. This capacity transforms the dynamic entirely. She learns through repeated experience that her vulnerability will not be met with panic, dismissal, or a well-meaning but invalidating lecture on logic. The moment she realizes that nothing she says, no fear she voices, no frustration she expresses, no tears she sheds will cause you to flinch, flee, or try to prematurely shut down the feeling, is the moment a fundamental shift occurs. This is the bedrock of emotional safety. It is the assurance that she can be honest, messy, and human without the risk of being abandoned or criticized. She doesn't need a hero to slay the dragon of her feelings. She needs a partner who will stand beside her while she faces it herself. Someone whose unwavering presence gives her the courage to do so. This safety is what allows for the deepest level of intimacy and attachment. When a woman feels emotionally safe, her defenses come down. The walls she may have built to protect herself from previous partners who couldn't handle her truth begin to crumble. She no longer has to spend energy managing or suppressing her emotions for the comfort of another. This liberation is incredibly powerful. It allows her to attach not to an idealized version of herself that you expect, but to the real, whole, and sometimes messy person she is. Your calm in her chaos does not just make you attractive. It makes you a sanctuary, and it is within that sanctuary that trust deepens, vulnerability flourishes, and a love that is based on authentic acceptance, rather than convenient performance, can truly take root and grow. The concept of protecting one's energy is often misconstrued as aloofness or a lack of interest. But in reality, it is one of the most powerful and subtle demonstrations of self-respect a man can exhibit. In a world of constant connectivity and social pressure, the ability to maintain emotional boundaries is not a wall. It is a filter. It is the conscious choice to guard your inner peace, your focus, and your time as the sacred resources they are. This principle manifests in seemingly small but significant ways. When you don't feel compelled to respond to a text message the instant it arrives. When you prioritize your existing commitments instead of canceling them at the first sign of her interest. When you refrain from over-explaining or justifying your choices simply to remain in someone's good graces. These actions are not games. They are the practical application of a deep-seated understanding that your worth is not contingent on external validation. A woman is intuitively drawn to a man who exhibits this protective boundary around his energy, because it signals a crucial truth: he is complete unto himself. He is not a vacant vessel waiting to be filled with her attention and affection. This energy is palpable and, as the saying goes, it hits different. It feels solid and reliable, unlike the anxious, approval-seeking energy of a man who constantly seeks reassurance. A man with clear boundaries communicates through his actions rather than his words, that his purpose and peace are internally generated. He is the source of his own validation. This is not arrogance. It is a quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from self-knowledge and self-direction. He is not hostile or closed off, but he is selective. He understands that his energy is his most valuable currency, and he invests it wisely, not squandering it on drama, neediness, or the desperate pursuit of connection. This selective nature creates a powerful dynamic of attraction. When a woman senses that your time and attention are not freely given to everyone without discretion, but are instead offered as a valued gift, she naturally places a higher value on receiving them. It makes her feel that being led into your world is a privilege, not a right. This is the antithesis of neediness. The man who is always available, always reacting, always explaining himself communicates that he has nothing better to do, that his life lacks a compelling center. In contrast, the man who protects his energy is a man with a life. He has a mission, hobbies, friendships, and a rich inner world that exist independently of her. This doesn't push her away. It pulls her in. It sparks curiosity and a desire to be part of that purposeful existence. She's not being asked to complete him, but to complement an already whole and vibrant life. This is the essence of true leadership in a relationship. the ability to steward your own spirit so well that others feel more centered, more secure, and more inspired simply by being in your presence. Your boundaries aren't a rejection of her. They are an invitation into a world of stability and self-respect, which is the most secure foundation upon which to build a lasting connection. The desire for intimacy is a powerful force, but like tending to a delicate plant, it cannot be forced. It must be allowed to grow, to root itself naturally in a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Many men, operating from a place of earnest desire or anxiety, mistake depth for speed. They believe that accelerating the process oversharing personal histories too soon, pushing for intense conversations about the future, or demanding vulnerability as proof of connection will fast-forward the bond. This approach, however, often has the opposite effect. It feels less like an invitation and more like an interrogation or a performance, creating pressure where there should be ease. True depth is not manufactured in a single, intense conversation. It is accumulated slowly, layer by layer, in the quiet, unscripted moments between two people. The man who understands this practices a rare form of patience. He is the one a woman remembers because he offers the gift of space. He does not perceive silence as a void to be filled with probing questions, but as a comfortable space to coexist. He understands that vulnerability cannot be demanded. It must be volunteered, and it can only be volunteered when a person feels utterly safe. This man creates that safety by being a consistent, non-judgmental presence. He listens not as a prelude to his own response, not to diagnose or solve, but with the simple, profound goal of understanding her world. This quality of listening is an active state of receptivity. It says, I am fully here with you. Your thoughts and feelings are important simply because they are yours. In this space, free from the pressure to be entertaining or perfectly articulate, she can begin to relax into her authentic self. This philosophy extends beyond conversation to the very architecture of your own life. There is a profound irony at the heart of attraction. The less you need a woman to feel complete, the more powerfully she is drawn to you. This is not about playing hard to get. It is about being hard to replace because your life is already full and compelling. When your sense of purpose, validation, and happiness is internally generated, it changes the entire energy of the connection. You are not a suitor waiting at her gate for admission into a meaningful existence. You are a man already, on a purposeful journey. You don't talk incessantly about your goals as a form of boasting. You live them quietly through your daily actions, your discipline, your choices. This self-contained wholeness is magnetic. It means you are inviting her to join you in your already vibrant world, not looking for her to provide one for you. She witnesses your growth, your passion, and your commitment to your own path. And she naturally begins to wonder how she might fit into that narrative. She doesn't want to be your reason for getting up in the morning. She wants to be the person you are excited to share your morning with. This distinction is everything. The former places a burden of responsibility on her for your happiness and motivation. The latter positions her as a cherished companion and collaborator in a life that is already rich with meaning. The connection that forms under these conditions is built on attraction and choice, not on dependency or need. It is a bond between two whole individuals who choose to build something even greater together, rather than two halves seeking to become complete through the other. This is the art of unforced connection, creating a world so solid and inviting that she walks into it of her own accord, ready to add her own light to the one you have already built. The culmination of all these principles finds its most potent expression in a quality that is often felt but rarely defined: the presence of a calm leader. This has nothing to do with the outdated model of dominance, with barking orders or demanding submission. That is not leadership. It is insecurity disguised as strength. True leadership in an intimate context is a quiet, almost gravitational force. It is the ability to provide a sense of direction through unwavering calm and decisive energy. It manifests in the simplest of actions, making a plan with thoughtful intention. choosing a restaurant without a long, hesitant debate, handling a minor crisis like a flat tire or a canceled reservation without succumbing to frustration or blame. It is the capacity to move through the world with a sense of purpose that is independent of the day's emotional weather. This is not about controlling the person you are with, but about mastering your own responses to the world around you. When a woman encounters this quality, subtle but profound shift occurs within her. She begins to relax. The part of her that often feels the need to manage, to anticipate problems, or to take charge in a vacuum of decisiveness can finally let go. This relinquishing of control is not an act of surrender to you, but a release into a trust that you have earned. It is the feeling of being able to put down a heavy burden she may not have even realized she was carrying. Your calm confidence communicates that the situation, whatever it may be, is manageable, and, more importantly, that she is safe within it. This allows her to transition from a state of vigilance to a state of presence, where she can truly experience the moment with you. Rather than feeling responsible for orchestrating it, this creates what can only be described as emotional gravity. You become a stable, immovable object in the sometimes chaotic field of life. You are not easily rattled by external events or thrown off balance by her internal emotional shifts. This does not mean you are unfeeling. It means you are the steady center around which feelings can be processed healthily. You don't chase her changing moods, trying to placate or fix them. You don't cling for reassurance when she seems distant. You remain anchored in your own core. This stability is incredibly rare and therefore incredibly compelling. When a woman senses that her chaos, her moments of anxiety, doubt, or frustration does not have the power to destabilize you, something transformative happens. Your steadiness begins to calm her chaos. Your emotional equilibrium becomes a reference point for her own. Her initial curiosity about this unshakable man deepens into a genuine desire to be near that peace. And that desire, over time, solidifies into a deep, secure attachment. She is not attaching to a person who simply tells her everything will be okay. She is attaching to a person whose very presence makes her feel that it already is. This is the final and most powerful trigger. It synthesizes everything: the respect shown in silence, the safety offered in emotional storms, the strength demonstrated through boundaries, and the patience exercised in building connection. It all culminates in this gravitational presence. You become the man who makes her feel profoundly seen in her silence, entirely safe in her chaos, and irresistibly drawn to the life you are building, not because she has been placed at its center, but because she feels inspired to contribute to it from a place of mutual strength and respect. This is how you make deep love impossible to ignore. Not by chasing it, but by becoming the kind of man who embodies the peace, purpose, and presence that is the very essence of a true home for the heart.